Hello, hello, and welcome, ladies. We are so excited to have this time together and get to share with one another. My name is Amber Miller, and I'm co-hosting this with the beautiful, incredible, a woman that I have just looked up to and admired for over a decade now that we've gotten to know each other, Brenda Martin. And we're gonna lead this together. But I'm gonna start off with sharing our purpose and our why. We have been talking, chatting, DMing, voice messaging for a while now. Just we're both so passionate about this industry that we are in with Plexus, with network marketing, because of what it's given our home and our families. Far beyond a small, little paycheck, far beyond getting our products covered, far beyond any of that beginning earnings and into the future legacy wealth building blessing that this business has been on our homes and our futures and our children's futures. And so we have this just impressed upon us to shine a different light and to give a wider, broader picture as women and homes that are receiving this blessing to really blow a breath of life and fresh air into women and ladies that are thinking about this or already pursuing it. We want to be those vision casters and bring in the biblical wisdom and good stewardship that we see in this. So, we're taking a totally different approach than we normally do and just asking you to be vulnerable with us, open up your hearts, open up your ideas, use that chat box if you have deep questions. And we just really want to dig into that together. So we're going to start off with our stories and then getting to some very common questions that we see as barriers that keep Christ-minded, like-minded, home-centered women from pursuing this for their families because of maybe some misconceptions or different concerns, and really speak to those individually. So I'm going to start it off with asking the beautiful Brenda Martin to share her incredible story with us.
Well, I am super honored to be doing this with Amber because it's something that was just kind of on my mind to do for a while. Like, how can I just sit down with women? Like, if we could do what we wanted, we would just gather you guys around in our living room and we would just chat and just share our hearts with you. And this is kind of what we're trying to do through this. And then I was chatting with Amber a month or two ago and discovered she was wanting to do the same thing. And y'all, Amber and I know each other because of Plexus. She is
Mhm.
technically like what we would call my upline, like the way above me in the levels of things with this company. But what was really cool was when I started growing this, I was super passionate about making a difference for my family because I've been praying for an answer for something I could do from home. And I wanted to be something that could be genuine from my heart, where I wouldn't feel like a salesperson trying to talk people into something they don't even need. And this came along and answered all of that. And then I was growing this business like crazy. And then I realized, oh, there's people like above me that I've never met before. And I started getting interested in getting to know them to learn from them. It turns out Amber was like 20, what, one? No, I think you were maybe 24, 25, just this young mom who was just getting going with her little family life. And the thing I loved about Plexus is when I discovered that yes, what I was doing was building for my family, but it was also blessing a couple of the
Mhm.
moms above me, Amber being one of them. But did you
Mhm.
guys know that in Plexus, it wasn't just all going into them? In fact, I had reached a higher rank before Amber even did. Like, if you understand how network marketing works, that was just cool to me to know that that was possible. Not that I thought, oh, I'm better than Amber or I did something greater than her. I learned from her and the other gals that were in our team with her. But my point is, when I learned to know Amber, I'm like, that's what I love about what we're doing. There are so many like-minded mamas who are learning that we can do something amazing for our families, and our husbands are right there supporting us. Nothing really changed in terms of what I was doing in my home, and I saw this in Amber too. In fact, what we did with Plexus only empowered us to do more for what our dreams were for our family. For Amber, it was homesteading. For me, it was enabling or empowering or whatever our family to get out of debt and to grow our other family business. And so what I have learned with Plex is that it is a tool to do what you want to do with your family. And so my quick story is that I had a 1-year-old on my lap when I started this. I had 11 kiddos. So my oldest was like 20, my baby was 1. I had a house full of boys mostly. We had 3 girls. Very, very busy plate. I didn't have extra time, but I did have a desire and a passion to change our family's what looked like bleak future at that point because we were in debt, like I said. We were just had only known poverty growing up, being farmers, never experiencing what it was like to be able to say yes to opportunities or yes to helping others. It was always, no, we can't afford it. No, we can't afford it. And barely getting by. Now, my husband was building an amazing business. He was a hard worker. He was, supplying our needs so well with the business that we had. He was teaching our boys so many wonderful skills. But I'm going to change our view. Pardon me if this is distracting, but I wanted to see faces better. There we go. For me, it looks better. I don't know what it looks for you guys. But with just the way the economy went and just the way it goes when you're trying to build your own home business, things did have its challenges. We did find ourselves in debt, and just it wasn't so much that God wasn't providing for us, but when it was the future. It was really about our future where we felt the burden because things were hard enough that we were looking at bankruptcy because we were like, we don't even know how we're going to go with this. How are we going to climb out of this hole? How are we going to build a business that even gives us opportunities for our future other than just getting by, just paying what needs to be paid every month, being behind, paying the late fees? Like that's just what it's always going to look like. And that felt discouraging, especially when we had 8 sons who we wanted to be able to show how to do something better and help them out and getting started in life someday. And so that's really where we were at when this came along. And a lot of the reason I decided it was something that was doable for me was because it could all be done online. I could do it from home. Everyone needed it. My husband supported me and said, you do this as long as I have clean underwear in my drawer. I do not care how much time you have to put into this because he knew that it was something that was different. And then he looked at the company and y'all, just saying, he's like super anti MLM. He was before because of what he had seen in other companies. And he said, whoa, this is different. This is different. And he didn't even know exactly how to explain it, except he said, they're doing things right. Turned out that was their motto, doing network marketing the way it could be done and should be done, but rarely is. And that's exactly what we've experienced. So we paid off that $100,000 debt. In a couple of years, we built a much needed, bigger 10,000 square foot home. It's actually a dairy barn converted into a home that's more our style than to build big something fancy and new. And living a thriving life with no financial stress. And so that's what we want for you guys. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Amber.
I love it. I want to pass this on. If you guys don't know Brenda Martin and you see that they have this family business outside of Plexus, that they've been able to build up debt-free and solid, that they have 8 sons who all work together in this family business and have abundance and blessing for themselves and their home. Like their 8 children, their 8 sons, they don't, what I love and what I want for my children is I don't want them to be employees under somebody else. I want them to be entrepreneurs in their home doing something that they can be involved in their family and owners of their own time. That's what I wanted for my husband. That's what we wanted, to own our own time and decide on our own schedule. And one thing I was thinking, since we're bringing this back to as Christian women using biblical principles and how we view money and how we view business, is in the Old Testament, it was a blessing to have your family together. It was a curse if your family was spread out, right? And it was thought of and a pattern that the father would have this wealth and abundance that his children would partake in and create their own wealth and abundance off of, and they would be a nation. Right. And when I see what Brenda's doing with her 8 sons, they're their own nation going on there. Right. And that blessing of this business has impacted how your children are able to live their lives. And that is what we're a young family behind you in that, but that's what we see for our children. We want to create this unity. So just even looking at the biblical principles of that, and that money, as you said, is a tool. It is not, it doesn't say money is evil. The love of money is evil. But when the love of Christ is the number one thing and money comes in to back that up, we see incredible impact, right? Made on in heaven and earth. And that is what we love about this. We want to see this, and we'll just be bold here. I feel like this is why we said we're going to do a different thing here. I feel like kingdom-minded families are shackled by lack of finances. $100,000 debt on Brenda Martin's family. That is a shackle of ability to use a tool like money to impact in big ways, like to impact her family, right, in huge ways, and how her 8 sons can go impact the world. It's a shackle. The time of going 9 to 5 jobs, right? That the husband going out of the home. I talked to this beautiful woman on the plane, and she said, I'm watching my husband, and the life is just being drained out of him. He sits at a computer from 9 to 5, doing something he's not passionate about. And I so badly wish we could just like live, right? Not Louis Vuittons and big nice houses and yachts and boats. Like that's not what we're here for that abundant of life. So we see that within this business and the ability to do that. And we're going to show you how, because I know that when I was a young mom, I was 23 when I joined Plexus. I saw women doing these things in homes and families, and I thought, ain't no way that's gonna happen for me. Like, I am 23, I know nobody. I didn't even have Wi-Fi at my house. I had a baby on my hip as well. I was dorky as all get out. Like, it just was the fact. I had no Instagram, I had no social media. How in the world could someone with the least amount of influence as myself, that was so scared? You guys, you do not see that. You see chapter 20 in my life, but that beginning person that was so terrified. You guys, I was this bad at sharing Plexus. I once messaged a man asking him how his breastfeeding journey was going, because I was sending a copy paste message of just like very, very badly sharing Plexus, right? Like that's how terrible I was, because I was so scared and nervous. So how is someone like myself going to be able to make millions of dollars in this industry that had this huge abundant impact, right? Like we have now 12 years in. So we're going to show you that. And my short story is my husband was able to sell his concrete business, not so that he could retire and never work, but that he could be unshackled and have freedom to do what he wanted with his time, which is basically pour into other people. And he grows our farm and he serves his community. And we've been able to live in abundance like that as a 24/7 family. And it's been great. And I never thought, Brenda, when you said my upline above me, how us being successful blesses the person above us. They're missionary minded. They send tens of thousands of Bibles all over the world monthly. They support so many missionaries. They support the gospel being spread at amounts that people that are shackled just really can't do in that magnitude, right? With that income. So I love how that trickles up. But okay, so that's our story. We've been in this 12 years, and our desire to pass this on with this deep vision, right? So we want to draw you into that. Let's go beyond that. So let's talk about how we do that. Okay. So I'm going to answer some questions that come to mind that I hear a lot, and Brenda's going to answer, and we'll just kind of go back and forth here. And if anyone wants to be courageous and brave and ask something in the chat that's maybe a hindrance or a thought that kind of holds them back from moving forward in abundance, please go ahead and do that, and we'll watch the chat. Okay, so one question I hear is, what was my question of, I don't know a lot of people. When someone tells me that, I tell them that is why then that you can be successful here and probably not elsewhere, right? Like in other areas. And by elsewhere, I mean other options from home. Because what can we do from home if we don't want to leave the house? We can make an ebook or a cookbook or a course, and we can try to sell that online. I used to sell jewelry and I would sell it on Etsy, right? You can have a t-shirt company. You could be an affiliate, which just means not network marketing, just you to a person. And the issue with all of these other options is if you, let's say, had a digital cookbook or sold jewelry or something like that online, you must have a wide audience to be able to profit off that, because those items are often one-time purchases that need to happen at a high amount every month by new individuals, right? Like for most of us, if we had a digital product and we needed to sell, a solid 100 of those every month to make solid income, we need a new 100 customers every month. That's not going to happen with our level of amount of people we know. So I see that as being like this kind of enticing trap that I used to fall into, thinking I could make a product, but then I'd have to have a wide network. It's one person to one person to one person to one person. So I'm going to show you how this builds out in our industry. So if you are brand new and you've never shared with someone before with Plexus, you're in the center right here. This is you. You're going to follow me along with my little circles. And you have one friend that you're like, hey, I want someone to use these products with me. If we hate them, we can just send them back and get our money back. But there's a 98% success rate with these products, less than 2% return rate. Let's just try them together. Free reset this month, and you have one friend order with you, right? You're immediately going to be able to make back almost $40 from that one friend ordering with you. That's a referral. And then let's say you have two more friends order with you. You're like, hey, mom, you and another family member. My first three people, I don't know who it was for you, Brenda. My first three people that ordered with me, it was my mom, my mother-in-law, and my cousin. And I was just like, hey, here's a link, order this stuff. It's supposed to be great. Let's try it together. Who was it for you, Brenda? Who were your first three?
It was a friend and my aunt. And the other, I think it was two friends. I just remember my aunt is who made me silver.
Okay. Two friends and an aunt. So just three people. So two more people. And you're actually going to hit one of these things we call a rank, your first rank, which just means you've had your first three people order from you with you. And that's going to get you over $300 back. So that's that immediate paycheck. Okay. This is that immediate cash that is like, you can show your husband, you can know you've covered your products. It feels nice. I remember getting my first paycheck. I was like, wow, that was simple. One more person orders and you hit our Christmas cash bonus and you're getting over $500 for having four friends order with you. That's it. And I want to bring back the simplicity to this. This is four friends truly with you, not necessarily from you if you're brand new. If you're brand new and you're like, I haven't even gotten my products yet, this is just them doing it with you. And then if we extend that out, and let's say your friend's like, hey, my mom wants to do the free reset too. Like, I want to get her that as well. And then her mom orders from her. Now, your friend's mom is now in your organization of people ordering products because you started that ripple effect of sharing with your friend, right? And then if you told a friend, hey, two more, you're going to get $300. I don't know if that sounds like something you'd want to do for Christmas. And she's like, yes, I want to do that. $300 sounds great. And my sister and my cousin. And then that expands out, right? And now you've helped your friend make $300 and you guys are all doing the reset and everyone's enjoying it and feeling great. Now, this keeps expanding out and out, right? The mom says, oh, my sister wants a free reset, and here we go. And this sharing from one person to another, I want you to see this here. This is not you having 50 friends ordering products with you. It's having just a few and them knowing a few and them knowing a few, and this continues to branch and expand out. And I'm going to pause here for a second because what I love, what I deeply, and I know Brenda deeply loves about this industry is that all these little circle and bubbles you see right here are people ordering products because they're feeling healthier. They don't have brain fog. They're not puffy anymore. Their issues are getting better and better at core gut health areas. They're happier moms, happier husbands, grandmas that couldn't get off the couch because they were so inflamed and in pain. And now they're able to run around and play with their kids, right? These are people with migraines, with thyroid issues that are seeing success and actual hope. Actually, just had a customer today come back, and it had been several months since she ordered, and she said, I regret ever stopping because I feel worse and I really want this stuff back. I have this problem and I wish I never would have stopped. And now she's reordering again and so thankful, right? So, and not only that, but it's also people earning income. It's you helping your mom. She made 500 bucks because she had a couple friends, and now your mom gets that extra in her budget, or a friend. And this is why we say in our industry, your income increases only if others are being blessed with health results and their own income coming in through sharing those health results, right? There's kind of this misconception out there of like, oh, people order products and you're using people and all of this. And my response to that is, we're just solving problems. And if it's not a good fit, they send the products back and everybody's happy. And if it is a good fit, we get the messages of, thank you so much. I'm feeling amazing. I'm enjoying the way this is working with my body, right? Or thank you for, like I tell my upline all the time, thank you so much for sharing this business with me because it changed the trajectory of my entire heritage of my life, right? That comes behind me. So we only get that back, and that's the insider knowledge that you guys now have of how that expands out. But I want you to see, can you see how you do not need all of these followers or all of these friends or all of these networks? It's one person with a few, and those few with their few, and that is how that expands out. You guys might see Brenda and I now with both having large social media followings. We built to Diamond without that. I had like 400 followers and I didn't even use Instagram. Just recently this year is when Brenda shot up and her Instagram following got to what it is right now. She and her husband both went to Diamond in the company as a double diamond home with no social media following. So we really want to drive that message home. All right, so that's my answering an objection. Go ahead, Brenda. What's a thought you hear from people that stops women from pursuing this?
Well, I'm going to build a little bit on what you said there at the end, because sometimes we do feel like I don't have that many people in my influence or in my network, or I can't even share it like you and Amber are. You guys are so well spoken and you're so savvy with knowing all this stuff, and you know how to just say it and express it. Guess what, guys? Amber just said a little bit about how we started. We messed up over and over and over before we got to this point. And I just recently heard a quote, I can't say it exactly like he said it, from a successful businessman, but he basically said, your first year is for learning. Don't expect you're going to do what Amber and I did right away. Just get in there and learn and practice, practice. Do you know how many times I practiced in front of the mirror before I got on a Zoom? How many times I practiced in front of my family before I did a presentation? That's how I learned. I was so determined to be that well-spoken person that could convey, because I was a stumbling, bumbling, regular old country bumpkin for real. I did nothing more and had no more passion than to be a mom at home. And I didn't have any kind of experience in business other than helping my husband with his. So I understood a little bit about people skills. That's the main thing you need to learn here, by the way. But I also knew that it just had to come from the heart, but I wanted to also be good at it. So it just took a lot of practice. So one thing I get a lot is I just don't know about committing time to this business. I'm so busy already. My answer to that is, because you're so busy is why you want to learn to do this, because you will find such time freedom in doing it. Yes, I did this business while I was raising lots of littles. I had all the ages. We had to do all the things. But you know what? I taught my kids to work because of this. They worked alongside of me. It became a family endeavor to get out of debt, to build this Plexus income, to get that new car, to earn that trip. All these things they were excited to do with me. So it was a family business. I didn't hide it from them. I talked people to them. They knew the people I was cheering on. They knew my team by name. They knew the income amounts I would get. They knew my paycheck because I talked about it, because they had to know why I was spending my time and be behind me in doing that. And so I say, if you're a busy mom, or if you just feel like your schedule is busy, then this is the time to show others what is possible. And my kids now know they can move mountains because they saw mama do it. And that's the other thing, people feel a mom guilt because they're spending time on their business and not spending time with your kids. Well, here's the thing, your kids need to know that they aren't the center of the world, of the universe. There's a time for them, and then there's a time for you to do your business. And so I
Mhm.
have scheduled times where they know that I shut the door, I'm on a Zoom. I sit down to just, 30 minutes of work time, and then we'll play a game. Then we'll go outside. Then we'll watch a movie, or they get to watch extra movies when I'm working, as that just a side benefit to mom working, because we're doing this together, and I want them to see what's possible. So to me, that's kind of the answer for time. I'm not going to give you all kinds of time management tips because there is that, but I think when you have the passion and the desire to make a difference for your family, and you guys now actually for probably the past 6 years, I feel like I'm living a life of wow. Uh, I have a smooth running machine here because I taught all my kids to work while I was building this business, and now they can all just keep going. And I can have my office hours, and I come out of my office and lunch is made, and it's just a dream. And this is
Yeah.
what I want for you guys. So that's my answer for time. I'm going to quickly address one thing that just came to my mind that I didn't even have as an objection, but I do get it once in a while. And it came up in what Amber was sharing. And that is, well, shouldn't your husband be your sole provider? There's so many, especially in the homestead movement and the trad wife movement right now. It's all about, if single income, she stays at home and works, he's the provider. And it's almost wrong for you to like infringe on his providerism. Well, I
Mhm.
just want to speak to that just a minute because I think the Proverbs 31 woman is not that way at all. I think we all can agree she worked hard and she definitely brought in income. But this is an area to talk to your husband about. Be open, have open communication with him. My husband was so supportive of this because he said, you have strengths in helping others that I don't have. It didn't like threaten him that I could go build this online business because he loved working with his hands at his other business. He still kept busy and he provided for us through the other businesses, but that's what he enjoyed. And because of all the money I brought in, he had options to do all kinds of things. He didn't have to feel pressured to go get that next job and make profit on that job. It's like it lifted the burden for all of us to focus on what we enjoyed more, where our strengths were, and it gave us options instead of stress to have to make something happen with our original business. So I just wanted to address that really quickly. There's so much more that can be said.
I
Okay,
love that.
back to you, Amber.
There's so much that can be said about husbands and wives and relationships and heart positioning. I believe it's all heart positioning. Actually, the woman on the plane, she said how she was very heart-minded mom. She's like, how do you feel like you've been able to stay focused on your home and have a good, marriage when you're the one bringing in the income? And I told her, I was like, because I have a heart positioning of being I'm going to use the word that everyone hates, a submissive. That's just the word. Willingly, joyfully, he is the head of our home. And I don't look at I am providing, I look at this as a for our home, and that shackling of freedom, letting go. I often
You,
say, like, hey, if we
I'm going
won
to
the
interrupt. You froze there, but I think you said you look at it as a gift. Is that
yes, oh
right?
sorry, yes,
I want to
as a
make sure that
gift,
came through.
yeah, a gift to our home. Sometimes I joke, I'm like, if we won the lottery or we got an inheritance with an unlimited supply of monthly money coming in, like that is how I look at this, and grateful that I was able to connect to that. And women just naturally do better at this business because we are relationship built, because I can communicate, because we can talk on here, and we're very relationship oriented. And that's what this business is, good people skills and having relationship with others. And so we do well in that, and we can use our gift and strengths while freeing our husbands to use his gift and strengths for more than bringing in just a paycheck. Because I would assume, like for me, I look at my husband, why is providing tied to bringing in the paycheck? Right? He provides the stability of our home and our family beyond anything I could ever touch. He provides what is crucial to our family. And the income side is just the teeniest little piece, right? And he's so far beyond that. So allowing that freedom to like get out of your mind, and we're not trying to change roles in that way, right? Same heart positioning with our home and our kids as well. I don't desire to be a boss babe. I want to be a mother, and this allows me to be a really effective mom, really, with those boundaries. And I'm just going to add one thing. You will find, and we'll end this because we could talk about 1,000 things. And I had a list more of objections. And we're going to do this every Wednesday if you want to keep hearing us talk about more objections, right? And like a different perspective, because we're not giving you anything other than a different way to look at it, right? Is you will, if you are looking for an excuse to stay the same because it's comfortable, you will always find an excuse. So if you are looking to, if you, time will expand for whatever you want it to expand for. So with saying, I'm too busy, that is a choice. That is a choice, my dear friends, to stay too busy, right? Or to say, how can I do it in the time that I do have available? How can I restructure well and looking for options versus looking for outs? So I want to ask you, and we'll end with this. You have a choice. And what if you being brave, I call it beautiful courage to say, you know what? I'm going to choose to believe that if they have done it, I can as well. It might not be smooth and easy going because they just told me they messed up a lot. And now I have the permission to mess up a lot. But we, Brenda and I, had a deep reason, a deep why, a dream in our hearts that we knew there was something better. And I think, Brenda, this was your quote. And I say this all the time. My team's going to know it. You guys know the shovel. I need it on a shirt, okay? Is if you pray for God to move a mountain, you better be prepared to pick up a shovel. Yep. And Plexus has been, I'm getting goosebumps, our family's shovel. And I'm so grateful for it. And Brenda's so grateful for it. And that's what we're hoping to show you. So our ending here is to please message whoever invited you to this call, whether it's Brenda, myself, or one of the other beautiful ladies here who is working for this thing for their home, and tell them, okay, friend, what's my next step? Tell me my next step because you're right. I want more for my family. What do we do next? And they'll help you with that. So, Brenda, anything else?
Yes, I'm excited to see you guys every Wednesday at 1. Invite your friends who want to learn more about this also, because this is how you will grow a business, is letting your community and your network know. And I think we'll be addressing more fears. If you're feeling fearful and questioning if I can do this, that's what we want to talk about more with you every week. So thanks for being on.
Yeah. Thank you, friends. Bye.
Bye now.